Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we're live doing a feedback show on a Saturday morning. That's where we respond to all the things that y'all had to say to the things that we had to say.
Yes, sir.
Lots of stuff going on out here. Lots of stuff we need to get to. The official weapon of the show is
The taser.
an unofficial sport,
Bullet ball.
and bullet ball extreme. And of course, we can't do this show without y'all. Y'all are the listeners. Y'all are the ones who put the money in our pockets, put the batteries in our back, and we appreciate y'all for that. And some of y'all even take the time out to literally just give us money. Like, no, you don't get nothing in return other than just a shout out. And that's what we're about to do. We're about to shout y'all out for giving us that money.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlottesville, Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tied to the Black Diamond Tips.
Oh, yes. New day, new pay. Let's talk about the people that gave us money. Zach from Living Corporate Podcast. Thank you very much. Linwood C., the oldest name in listenership.
Ain't it though?
Lawrence C., Preston, aka Teen Dro, Slang of Ages Podcast. Tanisha G., Dostra J., Celeste BB, Mariano, Adam S., Jason F., Dorothea S., Tyrone M., Michael Irvin, Playmaker. That's what they call him. Jasmine A., and lastly, Waste Bees by Sura. Thank you, everybody that came through with the money. We love money. Appreciate you.
Yes, thank you.
Now, sadly, we got no 5-star reviews this week. I don't know what happened. Okay, we fell off. Y'all weren't. I don't know. We deserve 5-star reviews.
We deserve.
And we would like 5-star reviews.
Yes, not unless some of y'all posted and it's just slow. You know,
Yeah,
I'll take that for some of you.
I don't see nothing new on there. So come on, buddy. You say you love the show. You listen to the show. We here for you during the boring days of work.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on. Whatever it takes. Yes, I plotted and I schemed. Damn, give us the 5 stars. Yes, that is me right now.
Give us that 5 stars, okay?
Even if you re-upping, we don't care. We'll take a refreshing 5 stars.
Yeah. So please do that. We appreciate y'all, and it would be very helpful.
Yes, through iTunes.
It's a lot of stuff that we're going through out here, okay? And we're trying to make sure y'all have a great show every day. So yeah, I think a 5-star review we got thousands of people that listen all the time to every episode. You know,
we love y'all. When y'all gonna do a live show? Oh, Rod, you in New York? Can I see you? Mm-hmm. But you won't put 5 on it, and not even $5, just 5 stars.
Honestly,
free.
If you haven't left us a 5-star review, it's basically like you calling us the N-word with the hard R. I'm just gonna say it. Just like this gentleman from last night.
We had a phenomenal day today. Nigger League Museum and Arthur Bryant's Barbecue. We had a
what?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
He said that last night.
Well, yeah, when we don't get a 5-star review, it really feels just like, NBC Sports talking about baseball.
We had a phenomenal day today. Nigger League Museum and Arthur Bryant's Barbecue. We had a
It's Negro.
Okay, I was like, I think it's Negro.
Although I think he may have called it the unofficial official name it had back in the day.
Yeah, that's what they used to call it.
Slid out a little too easily.
Yes.
Then it seemed like a typo that didn't get autocorrect in his phone. I'm just saying. I don't want to know what he calls the museum in DC. We don't want to know that.
No, we don't.
All right, let's get to the comments on our website and on the episodes and all that stuff. Episode 2703, 2,703 episodes, guys. Whispering in the Beauty Salon was the name of this. It was a feedback episode. We got some comments. Appia tunes in first.
Of course, she's in the future.
when men bring up the naturalistic argument that they have to have sex with as many women as possible, I wonder why no one ever brings it up for women. It would be best if women had several children and every child had a different father. This way, the genes of the woman had the best chance to survive a changing environment. The children would be more different than the children who are full siblings if there was an infectious disease, for example, going around. Different genes increase the chance of survival. But do we ever celebrate women who had 5 kids and everyone has a different dad as a hero of evolution? Not so much. Yeah, not to mention, like, technically that should lead to 5 different men protecting that woman. We know that's not how it normally happens, but these are the biological rules that everyone can make, but people don't make that. I mean, like, it's to me, it's always an argument rooted in like a dude wanting to fuck a lot of women.
Yes, and it's rare that it's the other way around. You might have some situations where it's the other way around.
But I'm talking about the argument, not even the situation. The situation can be whatever it is. I'm talking about when you see people making these rhetorical arguments online on podcasts, the dudes always go to this weird place of, it always just happens to end up with I should be able to fuck a lot of women and you shouldn't be mad about it.
Right.
Because it's my biology, like I'm doing you the favor of not fucking every woman I see. And it's like, okay, but couldn't you extend that logic to women fucking and getting pregnant or whatever? The logic never worked that way.
Right. And then you looking at women crazy when they be like, oh, that's community dick, you a hoe. Wait a minute. Well, ain't that what y'all call us? Ain't that what we are when we just be out here just fucking anything moving?
Yeah, so it's just I just noticed the logic isn't consistent. And also whenever it comes up to stuff like STDs or building something together, protecting yourself from legal issues and stuff, no one uses that to promote monogamy when they're on that alpha male bullshit. They never stop and go, actually, I have a much lower chance of getting an STD if I just stay with one woman. I have a much lower chance of I have a much higher chance to keep the wealth I've attained if I'm just faithful to this one woman and we build everything together. They never make those arguments, so I just find it stupid. By the way, sorry to women'splain, but the frog in hot water who stays in the water that gets slowly hotter is a myth. Frogs are smarter. Wikipedia says, while some 19th century experiments suggested that the underlying premise is true, if the heating is sufficiently gradual, according to modern biologists, the premise is false. Changing the location is a natural thermoregulation strategy for frogs and other ectotherms, and is necessary for survival in the wild. A frog that is gradually heated will jump out. Furthermore, a frog placed into already boiling water will die immediately, not jump out. Duh, I feel. I don't need you to explain to me. I was using a commonly, I thought we all knew that was a myth, and I was just using a commonly known myth that we all. She might have educated somebody, but not me. Okay, so you can take that woman explaining shit out of here because you're not explaining to me. I already know. Okay.
Well, you're a woman out here explaining shit,
trying to be all
smart.
Oh, you a scientist? Oh, you got A's and shit. Okay. Then all right, then. Hey, Rod and Karen, I'm writing now on Sunday because I always forget to write in before Saturday, and I'm always behind, even when y'all give me time to catch up. I know some of y'all just like knowing there's a show ahead, and I've given up on taking a break so y'all can catch up. Y'all just like being behind. You know what I'm gonna say?
Yeah, and then you like 18 weeks behind, and you like, oh, new show didn't come out, Rod. What's wrong? That's hilarious to me.
Yeah, it's like Freddie Gibbs on child support. Y'all just like being behind. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate about your perspective on things is that for me, it keeps me honest and accountable to myself. For example, when you were talking about Chris Rock, I realized that at some point his comedy stopped being interesting to me and I moved on. Even with the new special, I didn't feel the need to watch it or snippets or be part of the conversation. I've just moved on. I feel also the same about people needs to hate celebs forever or boycott their work for perceived slights. I don't care that Aquafina has a black scent or Chris Pratt went to a homophobic church. I'm still going to Guardians.
Right.
Yeah, that Chris Pratt thing is still weird, as I've expressed in the past. I don't understand how other celebrities go to that church and none of them have been called out for it. It's just him. And he's the one that don't talk about it. I don't know. It's a lot. Even though we don't always agree, and I know you don't need anyone to agree with y'all. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Do I like y'all to agree? Of course, I'm a human being, but I don't need it. And I assume if you had a podcast where you were talking every day a couple hours, it's gonna be some shit we disagree about.
Yes,
Like,
it is.
it's only fair, you know. And I think it, you know, that's how I keep my ego in check, is being like, yeah, people not gonna agree with this. I do really try to keep that same energy when it comes to these situations, because your perspective has definitely encouraged me to slow down and think about why people are so mad at these things. And I bet we have a couple of the same Twitter accounts muted, because I definitely got tired of people on my feed who are just making people mad for engagement. Yeah.
And most people, they're the same person, because there's such a percentage of people, a small percentage, but they're so prolific in their tweeting and their posting that eventually, whether you want them to or not, they will cross your, particularly if you just in the black sphere of Twitter, they will cross you sooner or later, that you're like, nope, and for you know it, everybody go, oh, the same person, yeah, that person, yeah, because it's like that's what they do.
Also, like, content creators, and anger is content for a lot of people. And it's the kind of content a lot of people like. A lot of people gravitate towards the angry content creators. It's like, oh, you're saying every day, I'm already got this energy that needs to go someplace. Every day you're providing me outlets, because you're saying, hey, let's be mad at this thing together. Let's be mad at that thing together. And at least we're together. That's what I loved about Beef, is they really broke it down to where the key to a lot of the anger and misdirection and distraction is loneliness. And it's just, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like that's a theme rotating around my life right now that's coming together, you know. Talking about the Surgeon General and what he said about loneliness being like an epidemic right now, and anger to me feeling like an epidemic right now, and and more like a distraction from just like unhappiness. And I think individually and collectively, there's so much unhappiness with the state of the world and the state of our country, you know. And I think people are having a hard time admitting that. So we're taking it out on TV shows, movies. A motherfucker that said something in 2014, like, we're anything but trying to be in this moment, because we just want to escape it.
Yeah, something that you said, and once you said it just made me view things differently. Anger is sadness without a place to go. And that is a true statement. If somebody just has this huge outrage, and I could even say for myself, it's been periods of time, variations through my life, where I've just been furious and just mad at the world. And I'm talking about like really upset, like even with Trump, but even situations outside of that, where I was just mad, where, you know, something happened and people did me wrong. And if you mention that person that brought me up, it's like a fire rose in me. But at the root of it was just sadness that I was hurt, that disappointment in myself, disappointment in a lot of things. But as you get older, you kind of learn how, or you should, with the right tools, learn how to cope with that and learn how to deal with that a little bit better. Because a lot of this when I was younger, and like I said before, when you have people around you, adults, grown as adults, that do not know how to deal with their emotions, they don't know how to put them in a positive manner, they don't know how to express them and navigate them in a way, they don't allow themselves to feel certain things. A lot of times these things come out very negative in various different ways: beating, punching, kicking, fussing, fighting, fucking, doing drugs, alcohol. All these things come out when people just don't want to get to the root of the problem, which is, how do I deal with this emotion about this person, place, or thing that I need to deal with? So when you have family members that don't know how to control that, you raise children that don't know how to control that, they don't know what boundaries are emotionally, and it's hot or cold to one extreme or the other. You get these things where you have these feelings and these emotions, and guess what? It trickles online like this. And people don't want to actually get to the root cause of the problem of why they feel this way. But at the end of the day, a lot of it is root in the baldness of sadness.
Finally, on the beef, I binged all of the show before David Cho info started coming out. Looking into it, I realized I did know who he was, and I had listened to his A's of podcast back in the day, and I stopped listening because they both left a bad taste in my mouth with their "look at how edgy I am by pushing the boundaries" type of podcasting. Besides what you've already mentioned and why people are upset at Cho and Ali Wong and Stephen Young, I think there's also a sense of being quote unquote tricked at play. many folks were excited for this show and talked about it because of the AAPI leads and creators. And a lot of people were encouraging folks to watch it that weekend that it dropped because of how Netflix views streams. So I think because people equate that what they consume with their personal goodness, they felt duped into supporting something they feel they wouldn't have if they had known about show. It's still all wrapped up in people's weird consumption equals values and moral goodness worldview, but I wanted to throw that into the mix because I saw a lot of dang, I already finished, and I wouldn't have watched it in the comments. Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to find a polite way to say it, but I guess it might not be that polite of a way to say this. It's just, to me, that's cap. I feel like that's all fake. I feel like all of that is really just people performing.
Yes, they want to be a part of the conversation.
Yeah, like I seen somebody the other day who just watched Beef, which, you know, a lot of us are behind on shows. You really don't need an excuse. I think people are looking for any excuse to push content to the back because it's just like, oh my God, there's so much content. Oh, the 9th lead on this show said something one time. Oh, fuck that. I'll never watch that show. I'll sit on Twitter and complain about it, but it's shorter than watching the show. So, you know, I won, right? Here's the thing though. This person watched the show recently, but because they're in the circle of people and they've been participating in piling on the show and piling on that dude and making it seem like, you know, anyone who watched it is a bad person and they would never watch it because they're a good person. Well, they watched it. And it's good. And it actually does talk about a lot of things in life that people should be talking about right now. They didn't have nobody to talk about it with.
Right.
And when they started trying to talk about it, they had to put a fucking preamble before they could even talk about it because they're so worried about what everyone else thinks about them. So all you did was watch a TV show. You didn't do anything wrong, but you're so worried about your friend circle and mortified that they're going to judge you or they're going to whatever. So now you watched it. It's great. You will like or it's good. It's very good, I would say. I know niggas get crazy about that greatness, but I thought it was great. But it's very good, whatever. You would like to engage in it in whatever way. You know, maybe you still want to be critical. Maybe you still want to find a way to be dismissive, but you want it to have a conversation. But the thing about the cyclical nature of these controversies is they are designed to shut down conversation. Mm-hmm. All of them are designed to tell you, do not even watch this. You will become a bad person. If you watch this, you support whatever thing is. And so, of course, no one wants to look like that if you set up the ground rules and some bullshit like that. So they either do it in secret or they just don't talk about it, or they wait and end up watching it because everybody's talking about it and then they ain't got nobody to talk to because don't nobody want to be a bad person with you. You could have participated in this conversation when it came out, you know? And as far as the trick thing, I feel like that's bullshit. Like, it's only set up if you believe in that I'm watching something to support this community because I'm a good person shit. I think that is just a fundamentally bad way to look at stuff. Like, you consume art because you would for the art, not for the person. You know, I think a lot of times that's what skeeves me out about the approach to consumption in this capitalistic society is when we're pretending that everything we do is for some type of cause. It then at once makes us feel bigger than we are and also makes us feel smaller than we should be. You know, at the same time, it's like you feel bigger than you are because you're like, look how important I am. I decided that I'm choosing winners and losers, and these are all good people. But I feel like one of the side effects of this that we don't talk about, why do people defend people that do bad shit, is because they have attached their goodness to them like a brand, and they don't want to lose it. And so y'all wonder why when Jonathan Majors gets in a similar situation to what most of us would be like, oh, well, fuck that nigga, they did that shit. You wonder why it took weeks, and some of y'all still ain't came around to like, yeah, it's a fucked up situation. He probably did it. Because you don't want to, after weeks of saying he was great, he was the anti-toxic masculinity, brothers need to touch in public, he's proof that you can do this, that, and the other. you don't want to come off of that and be like, I don't know this nigga, and maybe he did some foul shit.
Right.
Because it's all about us. It's not about them. It's not about the person. It's not, and I just don't want to extend that to anybody. I feel like I can be a fan of the way somebody dunks a basketball, but not the way that they hit a woman. And to me, I've been able to move through my life and not feel like I'm supporting any of that with because I watched the basketball game. And I think elevating yourself to that level is already some egomaniac shit. You didn't support beef. You watched a good TV show. They're only obligated to give you a good TV show. And the last thing I'll say on this is this: whatever you're participating in, whatever you're watching, you think there's no David Chose?
You just don't know about him.
You think there's no David Chose? And what? That's delusional to me. Whatever your favorite thing is that you're fucking with, they got a whole lot of people involved.
Yep, and it don't have to be movies. It could be video games. It
What,
could be anything.
whatever it is, you
music,
think,
anything.
like, to me, there's nothing more foolish than you thinking you're clean.
Right.
I don't think that's the most foolish, naive take, and I refuse to participate in that because I think it's just a trick bag to control people. Yes. Watch whatever the fuck you want to watch, but just like speak out on the shit that you don't fuck with. It's okay to be like, I enjoyed this, I don't know, this song, but this person seemed like a horrible person. I don't really fuck with them.
Correct.
I think all that shit is okay, but we somehow ended up in a trick bag of really capitulating to each other online, and in a lot of cases, there are people that kind of rise to online power using this shit, and they're feeding off of this shit, and I don't want to help them. Fuck them.
Nope, I don't want to help them. I don't want to participate, and I am a complicated creature. I am not simple-minded when it comes to this shit. I have multiple thoughts. Two things could be true at once, and shit like that. And it's one of those things where when I see that shit, it's very frustrating to me. And I'm like, oh, this is why y'all stress yourself out, because I don't give a fuck on certain things. And I will tell you that and just turn around and be like, do, while you over here worrying and stressing. I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. It don't matter. But, online, these things matter because online has cultivated a space of all or nothing.
Well, it's just like gotcha shit. It's not real. It's like if I said, oh man, I listened to that new Future album, and then somebody's like, oh, you listen to that new Future album? I didn't know you support not taking care of his kids. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Nigga, what? I don't own nobody child support.
Like, yeah, what just happened here? And right. I think that's what the internet has turned into. And I'm like, I refuse to participate in that shit. If you won't come to reality like me, then I just won't fuck with you. And
right.
I think that's why I love having this show. So like, being tricked is only, I guess what I'm trying to say is being tricked only counts if you're already in them circles of people that is literally tricking each other. I think it's just as much a trick to keep you not watching it by being like, the 10th lead on this show had said a joke once that we don't really have proof that it wasn't a joke, but it sounded like he was talking big. I don't know. He said some shit one time and you watched it. If you watch this, you like, that's just as much a trick to me because I don't believe in that bullshit. That's all. Sorry for the long comment, but I think I've been meaning to write it for about a month, so I've been saving up. Love y'all, Shannon. Love you too, Shannon.
Thank you.
Thank you for writing in.
Mm-hmm.
And all the yous in that was a general you, not you, Shannon. I know you probably understand, but I want to be clear.
Right. So. Yeah, we talking in general.
Ramsey D. Jenkins says 5 stars for the recap feedback show. You two are that important to me, and I spent almost 4 hours at the beauty salon in a very uncomfortable chair. My backs, hips, and knees are not as flexible and durable from my younger years when I could sit that long to get my hair done.
Ain't that the truth? I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm good, because that shit take too long.
Go ahead and speak on it, Karen. Come on now. You know you like talking about being old and washed. Come on.
Yes, old and washed crew. Where you at? Come on, my back hot, my knees hurt crew.
Drop it like it's room temperature.
Come on, yes, room temperature. Ain't nothing wrong with room temperature. You ain't got to be burning.
All right, the poll. Oh wait, let me see if we have any comments on YouTube for this one. No comments on this one. All right, cool, no problem. And the poll was, do you care about that guy leaking government secrets on Discord? Because I'm gonna be real, we hadn't covered it on the show, mostly because I didn't care. And then we got a long email that I guess a listener really cared, but it wasn't because of no shit we said. Felt like they tried to trick us into believing that we talked about it.
I was like, wait a minute, did we talk about that? I don't know.
I didn't know any of that shit.
Right. I was like, I know we talk a lot and I forget shit, but damn, I don't remember this conversation.
Yeah. Do you care about that guy leaking government secrets on Discord? Yes or no?
No.
No, 43%. Yes, 57%. Now on Spotify, it was 46% yes, 54% no.
Right, because they got the money, they got shit to do.
But it's basically 50-50 is my point. About 50-50. It just was a story I didn't care that much about, didn't have time to get to. Rest in peace, Jerry Springer was the comment on our Q&A. Coach Malik says, Jerry. Redman had a skit on one of his albums called the Jerry Swinger Stick Up. If you have never heard it, it's pretty funny. Thanks for all the content. Wallace says, Jerry is known for trash TV. I hate trash TV. All right, Wallace. Good luck. I personally love trash TV.
Yeah, I am not above trash TV.
And I wonder how it stayed on all them years. It got all them ratings if so many people hated it. I think everybody loves to act like they hate trash TV, but we love it. I know I already tell people like I'm probably tired of me saying this, but this is like when people talk about, Rod, you don't watch these reality shows. You think you too good for reality. You look down on reality TV, and I'm like, no, I watch the worst reality show, Cheaters, because I know it's real life and they life actually fucked up. I'm over here on reality show meth. Okay, I don't got no teeth left. I can't even get hard to the regular reality. I can't get hard to 90 Days of Fiance. They don't do nothing for me. That's y'all on that light work. Y'all ain't selling VCRs. I'm over here sucking dick for cheaters. Like, leave me alone. Let me know when y'all actually serious about this shit.
I don't even know we had it, but we had like all the episodes on Cheaters on VHS. That show you how deep I have it go.
It was on DVD, but yeah, I used to have the DVD set collection of Cheaters, dog. And I'm not talking about recently. I'm talking about over 10 years ago. That I would just throw that DVD in and watch the uncensored, by the way, the uncensored Cheaters. Now, how this was legal, I don't know.
Right, uncensored, where no commercial breaks, bitch.
Not just commercial. It's fuck the commercials. I'm talking about uncensored. Like, it was showing people fucking. Like, oh, here she is sucking his dick in the car, and the only thing is blurring out is like the face and the dick. I was like, oh, I don't know how this is legal, but that's the shit I need. So I love trash TV, and Jerry was the king of trash.
Yes, I remember when I was in college. Child, everybody used to go to class, take a nap, wake up at 6 p.m. Motherfucking Jerry came on all through New Residence Hall at Fairville State. All the TVs was on Jerry Springer because you could hear from like suite to suite, room to room. Everybody piling up. And particularly if somebody had like a big pretty TV, somebody pile up in their room, and everybody do it individually in they suite with their cube mates, and all you was and everybody would come out and talk about, did you see that? So yeah, don't talk to me about how people didn't like that shit.
I used to rush home, dog. And you was real woke if you was up on Jerry being trash back in the day, because it was when I was a kid that this shit was popular. So I was like, what is this? Jerry crawls so housewives could walk.
Agreed.
Rest in peace, Kane, says Leash. Katie says, rest in peace to another after school babysitter. Yes, he was.
Come on.
Okay, I used to rush home. Also, y'all are cute for the unexpected shout out. Yes, I saw the names on the orders. Just wanted to send my girl some sunshine for the summer. Yellow is joy. Well, thank you, Katie. And she's the one that sent you the bag for the makeup and the toiletries. Yay! Raphael says, I was going to talk about Discord leaking, but the homie Jerry Springer died. 20 days of mourning worldwide should have been declared during this with no fighting or leaking. I'll be back. Play a sad song. Honestly, dog, you should have had smoke come out of like the place where the Pope dies when Jerry died.
There will never be another. I don't care what nobody say. There will never be another.
Honestly, like, we should have had a mass paternity test unveiling at his funeral, and then a lot of dancing. coordinated dancing. I'm surprised that's not a TikTok trend. Is motherfuckers doing the fake paternity reveal and then doing the TikTok dance.
Who was that? Maury Povich? Ain't that the other dude's name?
Maury, yeah, Maury.
I would be hurt when that dude died too.
Yeah, Maury less. Yeah, Maury is like he ran after Jerry walked.
Yes, he did.
Because Maury just was like, what's because like this is the other thing about Jerry, and one of the reasons y'all ain't never gonna get me to turn on Jerry. I don't give a fuck. Jerry set up the Klan.
Yes, he did.
And see, this is when I said, this is my nigga, because I'm sorry. This man had the Ku Klux Klan come on his stage, knowing what happens on this stage. And I think they thought, oh, we just gonna come out in Ku Klux Klan regalia, and we just gonna intimidate these Negroes and talk racist, and they gonna boo us, but we don't care. Look at us talking to the Negroes all in their face. And they can't do shit about it. And when I tell you,
it did not go the way they thought it was, because y'all, like I said, this is back in the day, because you know now the side you got security guards and shit. This was back in the day where they was like, let them fight.
When I tell you, this man didn't even really get to introduce these motherfuckers.
They was ready.
Like he was like, hey, we got some people from the Ku Klux. Well, bam, like people was beating.
They was like, what?
The shit out of them. I don't even know what they were thinking.
Say, is that clip online?
I don't, I can find it. I don't know if it's the exact clip
right
that we'll need, but let me see. This throwback Jerry Springer confronts the Ku Klux Klan.
A baby is born. When the baby is born, the baby, in a sense, at least politically and socially, is colorblind. A baby doesn't know.
No, this just him talking to him. No. I want to see the brawl, because like it was. Is this the whole show? A KKK family.
That's 95. This is the one who was.
Nah, the one I'm talking about. Oh wait, hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I can get to the best Jerry Springer fight with the Klan, because like this shit was so crazy. It was literally like he was like, and we got some people that from the Klan, and it's like as soon as they walked out, like, hey, listen, nigga, bam, 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 bam. Yeah, there we go. White dudes beating up the Klan too. Yeah. Like, it wasn't just they was Antifa before Antifa, dog.
They came out like,
how you don't respect this?
Only chairs being thrown. I haven't seen this in years.
How you don't respect this?
You saw
this, okay?
Yeah, that was white on white crime.
Oh man, that's the white hood crime. Yeah, white collar crime. They had white hood crime.
Yes, they came out like, oh, word.
But yeah, that was
what you say there, brother? Like WWE.
That was my favorite, dog. The KKK came out there. I said, man, what is Jared doing this bullshit? We don't need to hear that. Oh, wait, they getting their ass whooped? Hold up now. Turn it up. Rewind,
I'm on when I was a kid.
But yeah, so I disagree. I mean, it was trash TV, you're right, but I'm disagree about hating it. Aaron says, whatever. So she don't care about him dying. Marvin says, I still remember the hilarious episode where two men were fighting over inflatable dog. Guess the race. You know the other thing Jerry Springer used to do, and this is sneaky because like a lot of 90s, 2000 pop culture did this. Whenever you talked about trans issues, we didn't have any of the right words. It was a lot of stuff that I think people may even consider slurs now, but mostly because we didn't even say transgender. We didn't even, like, as pop culture, mainstream culture, people didn't know the definition of that or whatever. So you would get transvestite, the one with a Y, he, she, like it was a bunch of shit that we think
that people just use
is disrespectful. But Jerry was one of the few places where it was even talked about that people like that existed, and that there were people that loved them, and that there were people that, supported and them. So some of it was awful because it's, garbage tropes and stuff and reveals and secrets and da. But like, it was crazy because so many of the shows would end with like either Jerry telling you like, this person should be able to live their truth, and we should be leaving this person alone, even though I just made a spectacle of it and all this shit. But then the other thing is, a lot of times the person they were like up there with would be like, well, nah, I love you anyway, or something. And it's like, they do the hilarious, not hilarious, quote unquote, but the shocking reveal, and the person and the whole audience going crazy, like, whoa, who, he. And it was weird because, like, I think with trans panic being a defense in court and people really trying to use that shit, like, I got tricked, I should be able to kill this person. And Jerry Springer having a stage where violence took place, it was weird, not weird, but it was like somehow inclusive and progressive in a weird way at that time, of course, that he would bring people on and then be like, nah, this is just a person and you can't hit them. This isn't like, we have violence in this place and you better not hit this person. You're like, you might be hurt, you might be shocked, but it ain't about that right now. Like, it was just kind of like that. And same thing with like sitcoms, when they would have like a trans person on, they make fun, obviously, because it's a sitcom, and we did not have all these words and stuff, but they make fun. But then they would always kind of end it with like, this is this person's life and there's a life of dignity here and we should learn to accept them. And even if it was some level of like, I don't care what you do, you know what I mean, it was always a level of that. And I think, now we, obviously we wouldn't make those decisions, but it wasn't all bad, is what I'm saying. It wasn't necessarily good. It wasn't necessarily thoughtful or intelligent all the time.
Right.
But it was like a way of inclusion through trash, I guess is the best way to say it. It's like, I have a show about trash. Everyone comes on here, and then we have these moments of including all these people from different walks of life by being like, okay, but we're all trash together. It's like, such a terrible message, but it's true.
Trash TV, that's literally where it came from.
It's like he never had trans people come on and get bum rushed like the KKK.
Right.
Put it that way. Like, that wasn't the point of those episodes, but still. Man, we lost a good one over that one with Jerry Springer. I missed more than a few classes in college in the 90s watching him. Mm-hmm. Chicken thigh save lives. Chicken, says James. I don't even remember what that's from, but it's true. I think that's from the poll from last week or something. I think he time traveled. Episode 22. Oh wait, you know what? I need to play music so I know where to put the ads so we can get money. So give me a second to set up some music here so we can get this money. Boom. Said Buddha Steve Wilkos though. Agreed. Steve ain't had a charisma.
He was not as good.
Steve was the bodyguard from Springer. He got too big for his britches.
Yes, he did.
And tried to make like his own, like, oh, look at me, I'm doing a show with paternity tests, and
it was.
And the thing with Steve is that Steve always wanted to beat people up, so then he would like yoke people up as part of his brand. Where he'd be like, "You're not gonna talk to her like that," or whatever. And it just don't hit the same. Like, Jerry was never getting involved in the fight.
He knew how to talk to people.
Yeah, so like Steve shit didn't work. But anyway, 2704, Polly Got a Bullet was the name of this episode. We got 3 comments. Appia says, HPV related throat cancer. Again, the fact that I'm caught in a happy marriage, that is not open. That has absolutely no time or energy to cheat. And I'm also not a cheater. I couldn't do it and still be in the relationship. I would die from guilt on day one. It's saving me from sickness, high-fiving myself. Well, here's the thing, Appia. I believe in you. I think you could be a cheater if you wanted to. I don't think you should limit yourself like that. I'm not saying you should cheat, but this whole thing
it's unlimited possibilities.
I couldn't do it and I die from guilt. I don't know, man. I think you could do it and you wouldn't die from guilt. I'm not saying give it a try, but just know that we believe in you here. Don't ever say you can't do something.
Never say never.
Yeah, disagree. Evie says, damn shame what they did to that poor bird. Now going down on a woman is a sign of love. If you ain't willing to risk throat cancer for me, I don't want you.
Oh no.
Was DJ Khaled right? Yes or no? Was the poll. Oh, wait, let me make sure there's no comments on YouTube real quick. One comment. All right. Wait, why isn't the comment showing up? What does it mean when I say one comment and I can't see it?
I don't know.
Oh, here it is. All right. You are not ready, says, the only thing I'm aware of Morgan Freeman accomplishing with that crusade of his is to get himself quoted by racist right-wingers and memes and then use it in bad faith to make it seem like he's on their side. Yes, because Morgan Freeman says he doesn't believe in, he doesn't like Black History Month or being called black or African American or something like that. Anyone who's heard him talk about any other racial topic know it's pretty clear he's not, but people like that don't care. Like he will say, there's no white history month. And the point he thinks he's making is the opposite of what right-wingers are saying, that we shouldn't be talking about Black history at all, which, by the way, we know is a major agenda item for them when they have political power, and they just pretend he agrees. Yeah, I just feel like I don't know what he gets out of saying it, just because you're right. That's what it always comes down to. That's what it's always used for. And it just pisses off other Black people because we don't want to hear the shit either. So, like, I don't even really know who he impressing with that. You know?
Same.
But yeah, that was comments there. The poll was DJ Khaled right? Yes or no? 12% yes, 88% no. So even with HPV on his side, y'all like, nah, he was wrong. You gotta go down. Meanwhile, the people with money, 33% yes, 67% no on Spotify. Wow. So they said DJ Khaled was right. Okay, they don't want the HPV. Now I don't know that was his reasoning, but I don't know. I feel like he's in his house with a diagram right now, trying to convince his wife that he had a point. I always knew about the HPV. Like,
good for you.
That's what I was saying. It wasn't about all that other stuff I said it was about. You know I love you. You the best. Steph Him Curry. Yes, Karen, it's very sweet to tell her he wouldn't go down on her. Steph Him Curry. No, it's too late. You can't take it back and say, oh.
Good, she the best.
Exactly. That's how it works. James says,
that's how they get you.
Parrot probably want a dead cracker. Woman, bang. Rest in peace, African parrot. Wallace says, I'm a Cavs. You know how I feel. Furthermore, Morgan Freeman has joined the group of old Black folk who need to stop talking. Shout out to Jim Brown. Oh, damn. Chris says the HPV vaccine can prevent throat and cervical cancer, but the shots need to be administered before people become sexually active. Hashtag the more you know. Well, it's too late for me, dog. I hate to say it, but your boy is active out here, okay?
You don't say.
I'm catted up. Clear Lane says, I used to work at CFA. For orders, you can input a name, table marker, dine-in, shirt color, takeout, and or car color and type. If I didn't hear the name right, then I would use other inputs. Oh, so you'd be like, oh, blue shirt. Okay, that makes sense. Now, me personally, I would say nigger face. Now, see, you may think that's controversial and gonna get me in trouble.
Yes,
but that's why I say the white people typed it. You know what I'm saying? I just set them up. Can we have a moment of silence for African parrot? I have arranged a healing trip to Africa for everyone hurt by this hate crime. Let's bond and heal together. See me for details. Protect African parrot, says Raphael.
No.
Kentrell says, not my mama bird. Not my mama bird. That's good. All right, next episode is 2705. All Lives Matter. Got 4 comments. Ronan Raphael says, now Stephen A. Smith voice had to come out after seeing the good brother Risby. Now I know that brother Risby, and I tell you, one shot of Indonesia vodka was too damn much for him. However, sunstroke will make a good white man hurt innocent bystanders.
Oh no!
So I appeal to my friends at the Sharia courts in Indonesia. Let that good man free back to his carpentry. Now, if he had 2 shots of that vodka, I'd be the first to say, flog his ass and throw him in the ocean. Free Bisbee. So I guess he's on his side. Appia from Germany says, I'm pretty sure that discrimination for fat people is way worse than for skinny people, but I also believe that every kind of body can be criticized and the owner, quote unquote, made to feel bad about themselves. When I was younger, I always felt too fat and I was never fat. When I was regular size, maybe 12 at my biggest and not heroin chic thin, I'm tall. When I was younger, I was told that straight hair was ugly. Oh, straight hair got later popular. I know. And that I needed curls. Also, that I was too pale and I needed tan. It's always something. Now I'm over 40 and I don't get criticism anymore, and I love it. But I'm also not a celeb on social media.
And the thing is, particularly being a straight, I just said from a straight woman, you get criticism till you die. Like, I'll just say, but like this, you just don't hear it. And, you know, once you reach a certain age, you just don't give a fuck anymore, or you shouldn't give a fuck anymore. And you should just fucking live your life, because that shit will drive you crazy until you die if you let all these opinions around you affect you. And it's one of those things where just being born a woman is a problem. You know, it's something is wrong with you. Like, just your existence is something wrong with you. And everything that you are, people are going to say how you shouldn't be that, and everything that you everything that you are, people are going to say the opposite.
Yeah, people always got something to say about your appearance and your body. It's a surface level thing. We can all judge. Motherfuckers be alcoholics talking about fat people. Motherfuckers can be,
right,
you know, smoke a pack a day,
see.
Talk about a fat person. Motherfuckers can be, because it's easy, it's visual. There's a lot of assumptions that can be made. Period. And it's also why people gravitate and love to see like a fat person that like doesn't care, because at the end, inside of a lot of people is this idea of, I would like to not care. And a lot of the people that you see in the bodies that they're in, they're in those bodies because they care so much and they're obsessed with what people think so much, and what their parents said to them got to them, or what their peers said to them got to them, or what the gender they're attracted to got to them, or what they're, you know, like it got to them. And I think whether it's rightful or not, when you see like the way a lot of the power and emphasis we put on people like Lizzo, is because in our minds we're imagining, here's a person that doesn't care, and that's real freedom. And that she knows how people feel about her body, and she doesn't accept that in and start living for them. And I think for a lot of people, it's almost impossible for them to imagine that. You know, it's like you owe your body to the rest of the world. Like, you need to make us want to fuck you. You need to make us not want to look at you unless it's to covet you. You need to show you're participating in the societal standards that we have dealt with, like we've decided. And everyone has a thing. And so I think it's interesting to see how, like, to me, I think the more stories that are told, the better, because it deconstructs the myth that there's a certain type of body that has no pressure on it. And so when you see somebody who is conventionally considered attractive and they're telling you about their struggles, I'm not trying to shut them up or try to push them out of the conversation. And as you alluded to, it doesn't mean it's the same. Like, there's a certain level of privilege attached to societal standards and the way it looks at people's bodies and skin color and skin tone and all this shit. There's truth to that. And we can live in that truth and also be like, which means there's pressure on other people as well, just not the same kind of pressure and maybe not equal pressure.
Right.
And those benefits that they receive for that pressure that they're yielding to or not yielding to, there are other people who obviously will receive the detriments, not the benefits. And I think all of that can be talked about in this conversation, but too often I find that it's really more of an anger filter for people, and it's not really about having a conversation, not really about everyone taking a turn to speak, and it's really more about dominance, and it's about people that haven't reconciled the anger they have towards other folks, which is why we end up in this situation where we feel like we need to attack somebody as if they're the people that impose the standards when they're just a person getting by.
Yep, just like everybody else. And I've come to the conclusion that a lot of people feel trapped and they feel locked and they feel chained. And because I feel like this, and how dare you be free? So I'm gonna take the chains that I have, throw them up, and pull you down. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they want you to feel as sad and as depressed and as uncomfortable in your body as they do. Every day you wake up and you're like, fuck it, I'm fat, fuck it, I'm skinny, fuck it, I'm this, fuck it, I'm that. Those people look at you, and that's that sadness, that anger that turns to sadness.
Yeah, I'll never understand where the anger at people comes from, because like the anger towards Lizzo is one of the most telling things, and you can hear it in people's voices even when they're trying to be supportive. There's like an undertone of like angry, like if that's just what you gonna do type of feeling. And it's like, why aren't you examining where that's coming from? Because I feel like there's something there that you don't want to talk about.
Right.
You think you're talking about Lizzo, but you're really talking about your own views about fat people and stuff, and it's the hostility, that, because like we're the same people that just watched everyone at the Met Gala be scantily clad, and we were all going up for it. Like it's very, anyway, it's more to it. Let's see. Lotus Flower says the toaster strudel slander. LOL. Yeah, you should have listened to this pregame episode we had about it. EVE says, I live for old man tea. When Quincy Jones came out a few years ago with all that tea, it was steaming. I just know Smokey has a cat daddy. It was a cat daddy back in the day.
Come on.
He like a cat daddy now. He was a good dude, looking dude, and a prolific songwriter. Hope he spills more. I'm waiting for Morgan Freeman and Samuel L. to start spilling, because I know that tea will be piping hot. Well, Morgan might tell you. I don't know if Sam gonna do it. Sam also been married a long time, so I hope, and like I think he was married when he was down bad, and she held him down. So I really hope he don't have a bunch of I was fucking everybody's stories.
I don't think he does.
Maybe he will, but I'm not looking forward to his if he got some.
Either.
Comments on YouTube, we got one. S. Carter says, I was and still am on the not my business train about Brian McKnight, but there was a post that he put out to explain how he is a good father, and it for me proved he ain't shit. But again, not my problem. Yeah, like I said, I was reading that stuff for the first time, and I'm like, the way people were talking, they were, and it's just because of hyperbolic conversations on social media. It was very much like y'all didn't know. Oh, so y'all just was. Oh, so now y'all saying, and it's like, we didn't know. And of course, people's first response is, hey, so when did this happen? Where are you getting this proof from? Y'all are saying things without proving it or linking it to anything. Y'all just saying shit and then getting mad at everybody for not piling on with you. You ain't even got everybody up to speed yet. And honestly, like, I'm not obligated to pile on with you. I can still be like, yeah, that seems pretty shitty, and move on my fucking day. I don't like. It's so funny. We're talking about Brian McKnight in 2023. Who even supports him?
Last time this nigga came out with music.
Like, are we like, what's a Brian McKnight stand look like in 2023?
Right.
Like, who got the Brian McKnight tour t-shirts? Like, why are we even pretending like he's being upheld by a lot of people where it's like, we must protect this brother? Like, it's not even like that. But oh man, sorry, I just had that realization. Anyway, it's funny, because I had never felt this way about Brian McKnight until now.
Oh, and you know what? I definitely, to go back to Samuel Jackson's. No, the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. will not be sharing all his party going on. He's a director of S.H.I.E.L.D., damn it.
I hope you're right, Kale.
That shit is classified. We will never know.
But yeah.
A scroll did it. If it come out, you know what I'm gonna say? A scroll did it. That was him. Be in denial. I'm not even gonna lie.
All right.
That's what I said. I'm sticking to it. He took a trip to Tahiti. Yep, I'm sticking with that story.
Okay. The poll. If y'all don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I guess y'all probably don't get some of these.
Yeah, probably don't get the references. Shout out to the 5 people that understand what the fuck I'm talking about.
The poll, Joanna Man 2. Good idea, bad idea.
Joanna Man 2, good idea. I don't care.
All right, 24% agree with you. Good idea, which means 76% people say no. And it's the almost exact same on the Spotify. People say stay away from this one, guys. Okay, it's not gonna work out.
I felt like that at first, but then I thought about it. Fuck it, remake it. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Either it's gonna make money or not.
And then the quote for Spotify was "Ho Town." JL Covan, comedy genius. He'll be on the show next week, by the way. I think it's Monday, I think. Wallace says, are you sure that wasn't Kylo Ren over in the UK slicing up walls with the sword? Kadian says, we gotta wait for Chippenham to return his gun. Hold on. Meanwhile, Chippenham is a real city over here. Oh, I made a joke about that. It's not far away from Lecoq Abbey, a church. Have to visit Lecoq Abbey. Okay. Do they have a big black Lecoq Abbey over there? They have a BBC Abbey over there. I know y'all got the BBC.
BBW.
Yeah, y'all got the big back Lecoq. Lecoq. Jay says, I passed out when you said check the weather report. 90% chance of fog. Thank you, Jay. You know, we over here doing it. We over here making fun sometimes. All right. Last episode of the week was 2707. Gone too late. We had 6 comments. Appia says, I think you can have your preferences with dating. That's normal. But when you start with who you won't date, you will hurt some people. So don't. I know that white supremacy is a very bad thing, but how Ebony used it to explain her preferences, she lost me. Not everyone can be over average by definition. Yeah, it
didn't make sense.
Man, oh my God.
There's a lot of C's and D's motherfuckers out there that are living their best lives.
Oh my God. There was a tweet that made me laugh so hard about this yesterday. Oh my God.
Yeah, everybody ain't average or above average.
My girl Denisha from Tea with Queen and Jay had tweeted about Ebony K. Williams, and she said, what was it? Oh, Ebony's starting to sound like Dr. Hadassah Olayika Ali Youngman pre-PhD.
Oh no!
From the Black Lady Sketch Show.
Oh no!
Oh
yes.
my God!
See.
Yeah. Oh my God, man. I just. Oh my God. Whew. Oh, that was so funny. Cause like once she turned into a macro thing, I think it just got stupid. I'm sorry. You can have your personal preference. I really don't care. But once you start talking about that, means you got C's and D's, and I'm not standing for anything but black excellence. And by the way, my mama was a bus driver with a C and D getting dumbass. I guess I don't know. Like it was just like, what, girl? Well, you all over the place. You could have just stopped with I said what I said. I'm not dating a bus driver. It's not like we was looking on your Instagram trying to see. Oh, I see she ain't got with a bus driver yet. Like we didn't care. We didn't care.
Still don't care.
We didn't need to know about the classism of it. We didn't need to know, any of that shit. And I didn't need to see the people, like the same way I don't agree with the people being like, you need to lower your standard. That's why you ain't got no man. I don't have to agree with the like bus drivers are somehow mediocre to bad people or something. It was very weird. It's just weird. It's all weird, guys. Okay. She says, if everyone improves, the average will go up, and I'm bored with the gendered expectations a man can provide by taking care of childcare, for example, not only by earning money. Yeah, people don't want to deconstruct any of this shit. And it's just, we're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and we don't want to, we're such a trick bag because of patriarchy and capitalism and stuff, and we partially believe in it when it's convenient, and we don't when it's not, and we don't typically want to truly deconstruct and engage in it in that way. So we end up with this kind of half-ass analysis and relationship advice and rules and all this stuff that don't really apply because everyone's a fucking individual. And I think it's one of the reasons that people look at relationships and their inner workings and we're so fascinated with them because they are individual. And we like to see how everyone's breaking or changing the rules and making it for themselves. I think people like that stuff, especially when it's working. But I think it gets bogged down in the weeds when we start making it so individual that when we start taking our individual and making it a ground rule for everyone else.
Yeah,
I don't think I feel confident in saying there's 0 brothers that stopped being bus drivers and went to go sign up for law school yesterday because Ebony K. Williams said to get in her draws, that's what you guys to do. 0. That's not like So I don't even really know why it's that like it's a big fight. It's like I don't think Ebony take the bus. She don't got take the bus energy. She don't even run into these dudes. It's like, what are we talking about? Literally, I think it was Ayanna that brought up bus driver. She could have said any other profession, and we'd be talking about that. It just is what it is. Like dating by nature is very exclusionary for a lot of people. It's very this is what I won't deal with. It's like that's what you kind of have to be on. And once we start expressing that on a macro, man, you're gonna hurt people's feelings. It is what it is.
Yes, you are.
Just the same way that I don't think it's personal when someone says I don't date people with children. But when you say you don't date people with children, there's a lot of people with children that's in the dating game. Like, man, fuck you then. You know what I mean? Like it's cool that you upfront about it, blah blah blah, show preference. But you just told me your preference was fuck me. So yeah, they gonna return that energy. People are human. My mom is 70. This is Brooklyn Shoe Babe replying to Appia. My mom is 70. About 10 or 15 years ago, she confessed she puts up with some BS in her marriage because she likes the comfort it provides her, a comfort that she never had as a single woman who didn't get married until her children were grown. I don't know how old Ebony is, but she might have been raised or lived in a way that that was so hard that she just wants to be taken care of. Could be.
And there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is once you start expressing that, people start with their own opinions and projecting, and then you get to where we are. Like there's a lot of people that feel just like her. It was like, what I'm not gonna be doing is downgrading my lifestyle. And there's a lot of women that feel like that, and they say it and they mean it. And and a lot of times when they openly express that, niggas get mad.
Right. So I think, yeah, like there's so many things moving and conflating and conflicting in this situation, because I'm also not with the people that's coming at her like, you better get with her. Like it's just it's her preference. It really don't bother me.
Me either.
Like even the ones that people consider bad, I don't bother me because I think they're true for people. And people don't want to, if I personally wouldn't want to deal with somebody's hangups around these issues, whether they're trying to work them out or not, I wouldn't want to be with somebody that didn't want me for whatever reason they said.
Right.
So to me, it's like, okay, you got class hangups. Clearly, you think people that drove the bus got C's and D's and are, stupid and were not held to high standards in life. Hey man, do me the favor and don't date me. Thank you.
Ain't that I can scratch you off the list?
Yeah.
But people don't look at it like that. They go, something wrong with me.
Abia says, I wrote that comment before you were done talking about it, and you practically said the same. Good. I also agree with Rod that a good relationship is luck and work. It's luck that I found someone who still loves me and finds me attractive, and same with me. I was in relationships before, and they were way shorter where I just didn't feel the other person anymore. It was me. I couldn't force myself to be in it anymore, and I had to break it up. Plus, I think it's wrong to speak about lowering standards. Everyone has different standards. It's not a hierarchy most things. Also, here's the thing. Here's the trick bag for the people that came at Ebony. They would be like, ain't nothing wrong with a bus driver. You need to lower your standards. Well, you kind of just confirmed what she was saying about bus drivers being lower. So you're kind of agreeing with her that there's a beneath thing happening, which I understand in the way that our world puts things in hierarchy. We're saying like a bus driver is not as good as this white collar profession. But I'm saying you can't say that and be against her. You're kind of on her side. What you're saying is like, yeah, he is beneath you. But if you want a man, you need to get with one, open the door to one being beneath you. And I'm like, so then you're not on the shit I'm saying, which is like a motherfucker be a bus driver and be a great person, period.
Yes, sir.
I don't even know what those two things really don't have shit to do with each other. One's a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's all stupid. It's all stupid. We shouldn't even be talking about this like this in public.
Yep.
And it's all just very cis heteronormative. It's all very shallow. It's like everybody want to get on the Steve Harvey relationship book train. Why? I don't watch any sports ever, so the fact that my husband is also never watching any sports is a big plus. We have to compromise less here and watch happily Star Trek together. For a big sports fan, this would be a minus. I don't think that being into sports or not has any hierarchy to it. It's just personal preference.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people where one spouse is into sports and the other spouse is not, and that shit functions just fine.
Right. Brooklyn Shoebay says, I date a bus driver because 1, I don't know how to drive. 2, I want the bus fare hookup. $2.75 one way is a lot of money. And 3, it'll satisfy my uniform kink without the guilt that police uniforms give me. Oh, so we just skipping right over the FedEx man, and I mean the UPS man,
right?
We skipping right over them brown shorts. Nah, I don't blame you. Them brown, they the Smokey Robinson of delivery people.
Come on,
they definitely cheating. Seriously though, I'm so sick of this particular gender war battle. Nobody has to settle to be with someone who doesn't fit their preferences or values, but don't use your preference to generalize what everyone in your gender desires or to put down everyone who doesn't fit into your preference. I do believe that there's a nuanced conversation to be had about straight black women or any straight woman feeling pressure to have a man in their life to feel whole or be successful. And sometimes that overwhelming pressure, either internally or externally applied, will cause women to attach themselves to the wrong man. Thus, the next man has to deal with the baggage of the woman's fucked up relationship. Yeah, I think there's a lot that you're saying that is true. Is that pressure societally put on women to be like, you're not complete unless you're with a man, as far as straight women. Shit, actually, even gender queer women get that pressure, even if they're not something they're gonna do.
Right.
They still get this pressure of like, you ain't complete, you ain't found a man. And you'll even hear, like, in that book, Conflict is Not Abuse, Sarah Schulman, she is a lesbian. And so she talks about LGBTQ issues at some point and says, like, one of the issues she has within the community, it's an intra-community conversation. This isn't me giving an opinion, but one of her issues is we have a chance to reframe what relationships look like, period, because we have never been considered. We've been outside the norm. And she felt like when marriage equality passed, a lot of people felt like it was done, like we won,
yes,
it's over. And
that's
she was like
fighting.
And in addition to that being mostly a like cis normative thing, a very, like, she was like, the other part is in the LGBTQ community, there's a lot of different types of relationships and structures that people have. And we're just like, we did it. We can be like straight people. And people start not mimicking, but yeah, they're like, we can prove our worth by looking straight, like, quote unquote, like there's an acceptable version of a couple for people where it's like, oh, they're same gender in a relationship, but it's okay. They're monogamous. They have kids. They have a house. They have a picket fence. I'm not saying these are bad things, but like, there's a certain way that it's coded to like, oh, they're straight adjacent almost. We're just gonna treat them like the straights, and equality has been achieved. And so she was just kind of pointing out, like, yo, we have a chance to actually make something no one's ever seen before, and to push the boundaries even further than just monogamy and inclusion into the straight world and of insurance and all that shit. But anyway, that's a deeper conversation for today. But I just thought it was an interesting thing when you brought up this relationship stuff and the pressure that's applied to people. One could even suggest that developing too high standards is a protection mechanism to avoid vulnerability required for dating. I don't know. Yeah, that's true too. That's a good point. Like, maybe you're saying like, my standards are high, so I don't even have to worry about being involved or getting hurt. And it's funny because when people say this stuff, they're not really talking about love or the type of person someone is ever. Like, as far as she's concerned, a bus driver is just a bad, like, they did bad in life.
Yes, as far as that's why concerned. She said C's and D's and shit like that, right?
They didn't do enough in life as far as she's concerned. And she's not talking about the kind of emotional care, the type of connection she wants with a person. It's completely surface level. And I think when you think about that, the assumption being either A, if someone has a more prestigious, lucrative, whatever job, or if they own the bus or whatever, somehow they're gonna be better in a relationship. And true. It's only and it's very weird to assume, because to me, you still haven't talked about, to me, my opinion, of course, what makes people good in relationships.
Right.
Because you've only talked about the surface level. And a lot of people, when it comes to dating, it is very surface level. They care about what people see, what people think when they see them with a person. What does this person say about me? And I think, a lot of people are stuck in their heads there, but you're right. Maybe they have those high standards as a way of being like, I don't have to be vulnerable. I'm not going to find anybody, so I'm fine. He says, I don't know. I just be talking shit sometimes. I would date someone who was economically or academically, quote unquote, beneath me if they checked all the other boxes. I'm a grown, independent woman. Financially, I can take care of myself no matter how hard I struggle. What I want is emotional security, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's what you want. Some people want the financial security, and some, I get it. It's everyone's out here looking for something. Good luck to all y'all.
Yeah, good luck to you all.
Normally, almost all the time, I stay out of gender wars commentaries from Keith because I just feel like at least 75% of it is people projecting and generally unproductive conversations. Agreed. I don't even really like this conversation we having right now. But everyone, I'm dead serious. But every once in a while, it gets so loud it becomes impossible to avoid. And this is one of those times. It was refreshing to hear you guys talk about it because the way the meta discussion around it was happening was making my ass itch. And I was relieved to see that there were others who saw this the way I did. First off, I honestly had never heard of Ebony before this, so I have no opinion on her expressing her dating preferences. She is entitled to feel how she wants and about that and date and not date whoever she wants, and how I feel about it is irrelevant. However, why were bus drivers catching strays for no reason?
Poor bus driver. I'm just driving the bus.
This is what's funny. That's Ayanla. Ebony didn't bring up bus drivers. Ayanla hit her with that question. Now, listen, I'm not going to pretend that this makes Ebony innocent or whatever, because I think while Ayanla said bus driver, Ebony took the bait. Unlike, I thought lawyers was, a little bit more thoughtful than this and could see the next step coming. But she jumped into that motherfucking pit fast as hell. I was like, oh, why would you do that? What? You hear her out. Don't answer the question with a non-answer. Like, see where she going with it. She just like, hey, she was basically like the enthusiasm of like, hell no, I wouldn't date no motherfucking bus driver. Like, that's how it felt. She didn't say that, but it was very like, are you crazy? A bus driver is like, okay, I don't even know that she thought about this. I think anything Ayanla would have said, she might have been mad. I don't know what. Right? She's like, well, would you date a lawyer? She'd be like, a lawyer? Just a lawyer, nigga? Are you crazy? It's like, but you're a lawyer. What's happening? As you mentioned on the show, that's a solid union job with decent middle class income, full benefits, and a retirement pension, and they're doing just fine in life. Yeah, I was on the Karen Hunter show yesterday, and the amount of women that called in to be like, because we talked about this a little bit, the amount of women that called in was like, more bus drivers for me. I said, okay, I see y'all out here.
Come on, I'm gonna get that monthly bus pass, get on the family plan, be able to go all around the city.
They was like, don't let Ebony speak for me, because we don't agree.
Come on. They're gonna be driving that bus and driving his pussy. I don't know what you're talking about.
He gonna be driving buses and trains. He play his cars right. Okay. I'm gonna be busting it wide open. Okay. There was a lot of people that didn't care. A lot of people, depending on what Ebony said, were saying there's nothing wrong with being a bus driver, but the fact that you feel the need to say that is kind of a tell, isn't it? It would be a lot easier to believe you believe that if you didn't immediately undermine that statement with your next sentence, which is talk about settling, which, damn, did you listen to Sean? Which, whether you intended to or not, strongly implies you feel like a person's beneath you in some way. Ebony herself did this when she said ordinary and average is not good enough for you either. She would have been better off saying nothing out. Yeah, her retort is honestly where I have the issue. Her first comments don't bother me as much as everybody else. She's expressing a preference. Yes, it's in public. Yes, some people are going to get offended. But it's her preference, and who gives a fuck? If she has one vagina to give, she got, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one fucking person, guys. We don't need them all. You know what I mean? I don't even drive a bus. I don't care. Like, good luck. But to me, it was the I'm uplifting y'all with this pussy. It's like, all right, ma'am, calm down. Calm down. You're doing a lot right now. It's like,
nobody asked for that.
If you ever wanna ride in my Mercedes, boy, you're gonna have to make a few changes in your life. Like, all right, Ebony, damn, we
come on. If you ever want to drive down my alphabet street,
right. Stop, just stop. We okay, we get it. It bothers me when people do this because it feeds into stereotypes about how educated people look down on blue collar workers that the right often successfully plays against us. You can substitute bus driver, truck driver, electrician, construction worker, etc. Yeah, exactly. That's Yana said bus driver. It could have been a lot of different things. She could have just said blue collar person. I don't know. I usually try to defend our side against this sort of rhetoric, and we know the right absolutely does not give a shit about the working class, but it's pretty hard when people telling themselves like this. Like Ebony said, I just want better for all of us, and this isn't how we do it. Evie says, I think where Ebony K. Williams went wrong is projecting her preferences on other people. She doesn't want to date a bus driver, that's fine, but leave other people's dating preferences alone. She sounds like some black men try to justify why they only date white women. See, this is the thing. A lot of the language, and this is where the disconnect is going to happen because people get caught up in the she's a black woman. We're probably talking about black men, even though she never explicitly said black men. She said she's dated all kinds of people. And then when bus driver came up, it wasn't race attached to it, but you know how motherfuckers start assuming. But what I think is interesting on that is that I am just a person that gloms on to reasoning and more than just the like who's saying it. I like to get to the what is the logic of the thing you're saying and where does it sound familiar to me? And I'm sorry, her shit that she was saying in that defense, not the original comment, sounds so much like Kevin Samuels type of logic. You just have to insert different things, but you're mediocre, you're not good enough. I'm saying this because I'm trying to uplift you as I'm denigrating you and saying you ain't shit. Because let's be honest, who the fuck could be uplifted by that right now in her age range, right? Like if you're talking about like some kids or something, like maybe there's a kid who has to make a decision today. Am I gonna be a bus driver or try to be a lawyer? Sure. If I've been driving a bus for 20 years, nigga, what are you talking about?
Right, I'll be retiring soon.
Oh, you want better? You want better for me? Well, I guess I better take my ass down to the community college and start my life over. Like it doesn't even really make sense in that way. And so I think she just got defensive because y'all probably not y'all, but people were probably talking crazy to her.
Bitches, right? That's what she's responding to a lot of times. When people make these blanketed statements like that, they are literally responding to the crazies online and on social media and out in the public.
Yeah, like anyway, that was just crazy. The whole conversation to me was stupid, to be honest. I'm sorry, man. I mean, we gotta have conversations, I guess, but I don't know what they were gonna get out of it. I think the whole thing started with like, are black women too masculine or something? Like, you were never gonna get a good conversation out of this.
Nope.
But they did get the clicks, and maybe that's what it was really about. It worked. Yeah. It worked. So we are talking about it.
Yeah.
But yes, the logic is very similar to like what I hear the Campbell 7 people say when they start defending their misogyny. It's always, I just want better for y'all. That's why I'm talking about your BMI and I'm talking about how many kids you got and your education and what kind of job you really got and how you dress. And it's like, I don't know, sound like you roasting them. Sound like you really shitting on these people. No. I just want black love and black people to be together, even though I died with a Latina chick that I wasn't married to in my house. I just feel like
didn't own the place, right?
Yeah, and I'll take it one step further. I feel like a lot of times the people don't even know the issues they have, and they're projecting them onto the rest of us because, like, with Kevin Samuel shit, looking at the way he died and looking at how he lived and looking at what he promoted, I don't know how y'all didn't just see the wizard behind the curtain, you know, the man behind the curtain.
None of that shit matched up.
Yeah, I would have just been like, oh, you can't listen to these people. They're projecting some shit they haven't even figured out. Anyway, so glad Carolyn Bryan is dead. Oh, this is quite a change. Hope it was painful. The only death that would make me happier is Trump's, because that orange bastard is finally gone. I'm gonna find his grave and spit on it, just like I did on his star on the Walk of Fame. Yes, Evie, keep that same energy. You know what? You can have an Arby's sandwich today. That's how much I respect that.
I respect that.
That's how much I respect that. It's on me today. I'll cash app you $5. If you were /are single, would you date a bus driver? Was the poll. Oh wait, let me check the comments. Sorry, on YouTube. Oh, no comments. Interesting, because this was a hot one. All right. Would you date a bus driver if you were or are single? Would you date a bus driver? Yes or no, or only if they own the bus? 80% yes. 9% no. 12% if they own the bus. All right.
That's what the regular folks. Okay, what does Spotify got to say? The people with the money.
So 68% yes, which is lower than the 80%. 15% no, which is higher than the 9% on our website. And lastly, 17% if they own the bus, which is higher than our website, which makes sense because y'all are some bougie. Y'all are a bunch of ebonies. Okay, y'all out here like, listen. Okay,
I will not be lowering my standards.
I'm not tagging my LLC brand to these regular Negroes.
I will not be losing my money to your broke bitches. Yeah, basically, and I understand. Like,
we know how y'all get down.
I ain't even mad at you. That's how you got your money.
I tell my mom I'll never be like any of those Negroes.
And then the comment for the show was for Spotify was "Rest in perdition, Klux Queen." Thaddeus says that's not a dating a bus. The other one I had was "Rest in White Power Queen," but anyway. Thaddeus says that's not dating a bus driver topic turned into some extra classes, borderline conservative respectability politics on the second part. Good observations on the white supremacist part, she said. Yeah, man. God. This is why we don't talk relationship shit on the show, guys. It's stupid. I'm sorry.
Ain't it though?
It's always stupid. It make me feel stupid even encountering what I think was stupid, because I feel like even the shit I say can't apply to everybody. I don't know what the fuck makes shit work for people. I don't. It be people in relationships where I be like, damn, the woman got to walk 3 feet behind the man, and they love it. They be 3 feet behind there like, yes, nigga, walk me. Like and honestly, if they happy, I literally don't care.
Yes, you like it. I love it.
I have never cared. As long as you got consenting adults, your boy don't care.
Yes, everything is a personal preference. Like
I don't care
everything. That there's a lot of things, all jokes aside, that people do in their private homes and in their private relations that's not fucking politically correct. It's just not.
You could be in a fucking septuple. I don't care. And I don't mean that in the I don't care about you in the mean way. I mean in the like, I have no animosity towards you. Right. I'm rooting for all the good things for you. And if you find a way to make it work, that is so beautiful that you found anything in this fucking world worth trying to make work. Good for you, man. So like, I just don't know why we can't leave it at that, because it just turned into like, I wouldn't deal with. Well, somebody would, clearly.
Yeah, they would.
Somebody would deal with every fucking thing I think is crazy. It's somebody signing up right now to be Future's 12th baby mama with no fucking qualms. And hey,
no problems.
I hope you figure it out. I hope it works for you. But yeah, anyway. Joyce says, I'm calling BS on Washington's KKK story. I don't know any Klansmen, but I doubt if any of them will let their child play with a Negro boy. Also, spoiler alert, his character on P-Valley dies. Well, okay. But as far as
just to let you know, he might not be dead in real life, but he dead on this show.
Well, I guess I'll never be watching that show. Thanks for that. Anyway, I do believe his story. I shouldn't say I believe his story, because that's not true. I don't believe anything come out this man's mouth. I believe it's possible for KKK people to let their kids play, because I know down here, what a lot of people don't understand about racism down here is like every football team, every high school football team in the South, for sure, has racist white people on it, possibly coaching it. Definitely got their kids on it.
Of course.
And they be playing right next to them black kids that they, would not let date they sister. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, sir.
There's an understood type of thing that happens sometimes where people be racist, and it's not Mississippi burning. So it's possible, and it's not every white person, right? There's white kids that wouldn't have a problem with that shit, but it's enough for us not to ever assume good intentions and goodwill. It's enough for us not to feel safe. So yeah, I think it's possible, but yeah, I don't trust anything he says either. So he could be lying. But if you say no Klansmen will let their child play with a Negro, I think they absolutely would. But like you said, that you can't come in that house because they still recognize their kids need to play, but they also need their kids to feel superior. Raphael says, I only date bus drivers once they buy my ticket to Africa. It doesn't matter. If they, matter of fact, I'll take it one step further. Reading back in history, the masters used to let their kids play with the little black slaves. Raphael says, I only date bus drivers once they buy my tickets to Africa. It doesn't matter if they own the bus or are single. The more tickets they buy, the more we mingle. My heart is just big, just like Africa. All right. Raphael gonna definitely stay on top of it. The grift has no bounds.
None.
Nelson says, Miss Williams' comments didn't bother me in the slightest. I will say I was entertained by the fighting in the comment section, particularly of insecure dudes trying to humble an accomplished black woman. Yeah, I hear you. I think that's the thing, Nelson, is like, if you chose to only concentrate on the riffraff that were coming after her, which is what obviously she chose to do, and then, you know, and a lot of people that wanted to defend her chose to do, sure. Then of course you can ignore the classism, the patriarchal things. You can ignore the shit she did where she absolutely shat on blue collar workers in her defense. Because you can be like, yeah, but she's fighting these guys. And that's one of the reasons I hate these conversations. I hate the pushback because we're never going to really talk about what she said. We're just talking about the reaction to what she said, you know? And I think a lot of times the allegiance erases the nuance from the conversation because you feel like you got to protect her or have her back, or nothing she said was wrong. Like, we can't even say anything she was wrong. Or, you know, it's not about whether it bothered you. It could just be wrong. It doesn't even have to bother you. Like, I'm not bothered by what she said either. But was some of it was wrong? Yeah. You know, or inconsistent. I think that's fair to say. Aaron says, "Oh, look at the little baby Klan member, the cute Klux Klan. Not the cute Klux Klan with a K too. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, you guys are so funny. Let's get into the voicemails real quick. Voicemail time. Y'all know the numbers in the show notes. We got one voicemail this week.
Hey y'all, it is at number one feeling, and I am calling because It's Too Much does not have a phone line technically, and I don't know when the next time y'all are going to be together discussing anything after your most recent threefer that you gave us. I really enjoyed it, and I just wanted to leave this comment to say, the way I know you and Bossy Rod are true friends is that I have noticed the uptick in Bossy's use of nigga in that affectionate way. And I remember Rod saying that, oh, if you're around him long enough, it's gonna rub off on you. And there you have it. The proof is in the pudding. I said, I think she used it at least 5 times or more. That's just me observing things. Obviously, it's not a problem using that word, but I just wanted to say that. And I thought it was so cute. I was like, oh, that's friendship right there. A friendship goal unlocked. Nigga. Go ahead. Anyway, enjoy y'all as always. And can't wait for the next time that y'all can come together, whether it is you interviewing Bossy about her new audio book coming up or whatever. All right. Love you both, Karen and God, and talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
It is true.
Yes, it's happening.
Nigga. I'm 100% nigga.
It is true.
Yep, have with Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, have with other people. And all of a sudden, they was like, damn, I just keep saying nigga.
It is what it is, man. It's my favorite word. I'm sorry.
Claire's my favorite word,
It's what I grew up saying.
Yeah, we had kids that be they first word, nigga.
It's how we talk, and I'm not really sorry, but you know, I don't mean to do it, but it just
I like it. Yeah, it's a person, place, thing, adjective, app. It's a perfect word.
Yeah, it's just like how that one dude was talking about the nigger museum or whatever. Like, you see how it just slipped out of him? It slipped out of me like that sometimes too, without the hard R. Just is what it is, guys. All right, emails. Newsy writes in, dating preference. Your conversation about dating preference is all spot on. I'm 37, black and gay, and I've been on the internet since 1997. In the gay world, one of our internal struggles is with the masculine, feminine binary in terms of dating preferences. Sure, you could absolutely have a preference of dating only masculine guys, but if you put that in your profile, you're going to hear about it from some people. Lots of snarky comments. The way I've gotten around is by saying I'm into blue collar types. It's just my attempt to streamline the kinds of guys who hit me up without making anyone feel bad. Yeah, and I think especially when you're talking about like a hookup, you're almost nakedly talking about physical attraction. So like it's ugly. It's not, there's no good way to like the fact that people want to live out their politics through their sex drive is always interesting to me, because you will have to decolonize your sexual preference in a way that I'm not really sure it can be done. I'm not saying it's impossible, but like, I don't know that people are doing like a vigorous interrogation of why am I attracted to this type of person. I think, and especially whether you've been conditioned to or whether it's just genuinely your preference, going against that isn't gonna just like magically be like, and everything's cool now. You know, it's not the same, but it's similar to like if someone, you're hardwired, you're like, I'm gay. And if someone is like, yeah, but you know, women have it bad and you should want to have sex with women too, right? You'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Like you can't, like, that's like, I can recognize misogyny exists and not feel like the answer to that is my dick, you know? And not to mention just like we've reduced ourselves into like sex as like a, not just an act, but like some sort of statement on how good or bad a person you are. And I think, you know, it's ugly and don't nobody want to deal with it, but it's also like one of the few times where people be up front and you be like, I ain't trying to fuck with, like, if you put on there, I don't want to sex with fat people or something, I'm not gonna be like, well, I think you should. Like, I'm gonna be like, oh, thank God. I don't want you to feel bad about having sex with me. So I thank you I appreciate you letting me know up front, even if I know that might not come from a good place that you feel that way, you know? Anyway, he says, hopefully no fats, no blacks, no femmes, no Asians is a trope that's been dying out outwardly on these dating sites. But you know, people still feel that way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're just tired of the discourse around their preference. If you have a preference, it's best to keep it to yourself, find a tactful way to list it. Yeah. I think especially when you're talking about that. I think when you talk about relationships and love, it's a little different. But at the beginning, it's all physical. It's all appearances. It's all surface level because you haven't got to know the person yet.
Agreed.
I think when you're talking about relationships and love, though, like what Ebony was saying, it gets a little tricky because it's like, you're limiting the ability for people to surprise you, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I feel like a blanket anything is kind of weird, but that's just me. I think I would be open to just about I would be open to being surprised because I just feel like on the surface we say we how many times we got to just find out we don't know shit.
We don't know nothing.
Like, I just don't know how we keep feeling like we know everything. It's just so fucking obviously clear. We don't know shit, man. Anyway, last one's from John. Good morning, Rod and Karen. The title is Activism, Team Poppy, and Fast Food Receipts, etc. Happy Proud Boys convicted us of dishes conspiracy day. Yeah, I saved that in my election section. Got him. Also, one person got like the longest sentence ever, which I fucking told y'all was gonna happen. I said they getting the short ones out of the way. Merrick Garland know what he doing, and it's just gonna be a matter of time.
Rob is right. Yep, Rob is right. Rob is right. Rob is right. Yep, Rob is right. Yeah, Rob is right. Whoop, what was that again? Oh yeah, Rob was right. Rob was right.
Well, we like 2 years later, and Merrick's still keeping that same energy, and he's still locking motherfuckers up, and the sentence is getting longer and longer. I said, listen, the people, y'all getting your wide shot all early and shit. Oh, they only gave her 3 months. Yeah, they gave her 3 months for stepping in the Capitol building and turning around and walking out. Cool, fine.
Yeah.
But when they get to the seditious conspiracy ass niggas,
yeah, that time gonna go up. And that time I'll look aside. Not talking. I don't give a fuck. Like, put him in, put him out. Let's go. I want the big dogs. Like,
and
don't nobody care about them.
And one of the dudes, the Proud Boy, he not even motherfucking white. What were you even doing playing with them? You don't go here, boy. Anyway, good luck to them. Man, that story about the Black Lives Matter activists mistakenly roasting the white lady at the George Floyd protest was such a perfect example of how the grievous aggregator mindset can be so problematic in activist spaces. Activists get into a state where they are on a hair trigger looking for something, anything to be outraged about, and they end up lashing out at the wrong people. And then those same activists will wonder why people, especially people of privilege, are hesitant to show up to the meetings, protests, or meaningfully engage in the work.
Because people watch your actions.
Yeah, and I know the online thing to say is to be like, and so what? If they can't handle the nigga, that's how it worked though. They still people. And your job supposedly was bringing people together to get shit done. So if part of your dogma is, I'm just fuck these people and they better still come out, well, that's not how people work. So
and they're not coming out and they're not showing up.
Don't be mad when your movement don't get off the ground because you don't know how to deal with people. Working with people is a big part of it.
Yes, it is.
Sadly, I know lots of good people who have been turned off from otherwise participating in activist work because the environment where every wannabe ally has to go in knowing it's just a matter of time before they get roasted, or in this case, much worse, over a simple misunderstanding. It ends up taking a very small pool of people, white people who want to actively fight racism, and it shrinks it down even more. It's really frustrating since it undercuts coalition building at one of the most important levels and really helps keep us all in silos. The thing is, like, that's an easy one to talk about because we're talking about white people, right? And so people already had their feelings about white people, good or bad. And so there'll be people that are like, yeah, look at them, da da da. The thing is, that doesn't stop at white people. It keeps going until you're not the right kind of black person, until you're not the right kind of, you disagree about one thing, you didn't do this, and the group just gets smaller and smaller. And you realize like this was never really about a group. It's about a couple people's fucking egos. Yep. Because if you're not pushing the shit to the side at some point, you're never going to be able to build the coalition you want. You know?
Nope. And also the thing about a lot of activists, which people don't want to talk about, where people start and where people end in activism sometimes change. Like human beings, they grow, they change, they evolve, they compromise, they see things differently. They end up, talking to people that before they would have said, fuck you. Like that is a part of the growth of shit too, because at the end of the day, you know what? Shit needs to get done. Not just you being mad, ranting and raving and talking about how shit's unfair. Shit needs to be done too. So if that's what you're going to do, be on the outside agitating, because we need you. The people that are just going to be mad just for the sake of being mad and I ain't got nothing but fire and brimstones for everybody. Bitch, get out there and fuss and fight and argue and do that shit all day. But you also need people getting shit done, getting laws passed, talking to people that actually can change the laws. You need those people too. You can't be like, I'm just going to get mad and agitate all day. Bitch, all they're going to do is pass laws to what the fuck you doing don't even matter anymore, which they've already started doing.
Mm-hmm. He goes on to say, I hate to be Team Poppy, but I watched the longer clip of Don Lemon and that Republican douchebag, and I'm not really sure that white lady could have intervened in any way that would have come off right. First of all, I don't know why you hate to be Team Poppy. I don't think we said anything about her. I just know her as the white lady that didn't say shit. And if Don would have been there, shit wouldn't have been said, is how it felt. And that dude would have got up there and lied about the NRA and black people, and she would have just cut the commercial. Of course. When it was time to cut the commercial.
Yes,
sir. To me, she
looked irritated.
She was in over her head in the first place. And clearly they were in their ears telling them not to talk about that and engage that question. Mm-hmm. She was doing what the station wanted from her. Don went off script, probably paid the price for that, because I doubt it's how he treated women or being a diva, because I don't even think CNN cares about that shit. So I don't know that it's even like a Team Poppy situation. We weren't really going in on her because I was like, I get why she did what she did. He and Don were already going at it pretty hot. And I know if it were me, I wouldn't want to interrupt my black coworker in that situation once they were rolling. Just imagine all the medium think pieces about white women talking over black men, especially if she somehow fucked up her response. Seriously, though, that's a tricky situation. My approach is usually to give a quick look to my black friend colleague, like, you want me to push back on this shit, and then follow their lead. But I'm not sure there was even really time for that in the instance, because that asshole was just flooding the zone with all kinds of unrelated talking points, and Don responded fast. She could have given some head nod on the other side supporting what Don was saying, though, and at least she knew well enough to just not to fist bump Don and say my nizzle when he finished. It's a low bar, but she got over it. I don't know, but maybe there were other people that were mad at her. To me, she was kind of a non-factor, because I guess it's not the kindest thing to say, but she was probably in over her head and out of her lane. She didn't know what the fuck to do. White people don't do the reading most of the time. They don't know how to respond in those situations.
Right. That's why she just sat back and kind of looked irritated and was like, well, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know that I was going in on her. She don't deserve no props or no credit. But she could be a perfectly fine human being. I don't know anything about that woman other than that clip I saw.
Right.
And she was just out of her lane and wasn't even trying to help or hurt. She was just like trying to get to the next thing.
Yeah, she looking like, can we just go to motherfucking commercial?
Because the thing that people don't understand is over the top, or maybe y'all do understand, I get it. But the thing people have to see in that situation is the macro of that is they have a boss who wants that kind of content.
Yes.
And not the kind of content of Don arguing with this man, the kind of content of that man coming on and saying white supremacist lies and nobody checking it. That's what they wanted CNN. Mm-hmm. She's under that mandate. She's decided, I'm going to keep my job. And Don decided, even though he was on notice, to go ahead and do it anyway. And now he's gone. Mm-hmm. Rod, I love the way you flip things around when you want to test yourself before deciding your position on the issue. I think this is absolutely the way to go. And a great way to strive for moral consistency is sometimes I try to put it into practice myself to clarify my thinking. Writing racial epithets on someone's receipt has no place at Chick-fil-A. I say that employee should be fired immediately, except I'm pretty sure it would result in them failing upwards to a management position at Cracker Barrel. And that's how it works. Honestly, you can't even get a Cracker Barrel application until you have done some racist shit at another job. That's what I heard.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. They be like,
that's rumor.
You call anybody the N-word at your old job? It's like, yes, I'm sorry. They're like, no, not sorry. You can go straight into management.
Rumor has it.
P.S. Still haven't finished Beef yet, but very excited for the episode you did with Babasi on Beef, Swarm, and Snowfall. The acting performance from Damson Idris in the last episode was so good. I was getting a lot of Denzel the End of Training Day vibes. Emmy worthy in my opinion, though I'm sure the Emmy voters will be too busy falling over Succession to even notice. Two angry faces. Cheers and stay safe, John. Yeah, I don't know if Snowfall's ever been nominated for anything.
I don't think
anything.
I don't think it has.
Yeah,
it may have in like smaller categories, but not for the acting. At least not to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah. Oh well. All right, guys, that's it for this day's episode. Thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate y'all. We'll be back throughout the week. Until next time.